Hello and welcome. This is Michele Christensen of One Noteworthy Life, and this is a Plan With Me video for March of 2019. I'm using OneNote for Windows 10, and I'm going to walk you through how I evaluate the past month and set up for the new upcoming month. This month is going to be a little bit different for me because we are dealing with a medical issue in my household, and I had to scale my goals way down. I'll tell you about that later in the video, but everyone should heal up okay. So let's get into it. Now, if you don't know me or you're new here, I'm a huge OneNote fan, and I use OneNote to keep just about everything in my life organized and moving forward. I'm a YouTube creator, I'm a blogger at One Noteworthy Life, and I host the OneNote Bullet Journal Facebook group, which is the largest OneNote group on Facebook. So this Plan With Me video is later than usual because my husband broke his tibia, that's a lower leg bone, in 6 places the first weekend of March. I had already done my planning for March and was ready to record the next day, but this was a bad break requiring a hospital stay and surgery coming up. So as you'll see, I had to go back and revise what I thought I could do this month and focus on just getting on the road to healing with him. So as usual for my Plan With Me videos, I've already done this process, so this video is going to be more of a walkthrough. The reason I film after doing the process is so that I can take my time while I do this process. I do a lot of thinking and resetting during this monthly planning process, and I can't do that while I'm on video live. And also there isn't much to show in the way of OneNote tips, so by filming it afterwards, I can give you a really concise overview. So let's get into the first step, which is reviewing the prior month, and in this case, that's February. So these were my February goals for One Noteworthy Life, which is my business and blog. And the black is the goal that I originally set, and then I just make the color commentary and the evaluation in color. And the color doesn't have any meaning, it's just so that I can tell the original from the kind of commentary and evaluation. So let's see. My first goal was to deactivate some old email lists. So I have some email lists from a prior business that I'm not very active in anymore. And I've been gradually deactivating these lists, and I wanted to finish it in February, but I didn't. I've been working on this for a while, and now that I'm down to the final few, these are the ones that are really complicated to unravel. I had decided before February even started that I wasn't going to push on this too much because I've deactivated so many of the unused lists that I'm no longer near a point where my email service provider was going to charge me more money for the number of subscribers. So the priority level just drops in my mind. Now it's more about peace of mind and being focused only on what I'm actively working on and really excited about. So one of the reasons I like doing this monthly reflection and planning process is that it helps me to think about how I'm spending my time and to make sure I'm doing things that I really want to in my life. When I started to dig into why I hadn't been working on these last few email lists, I realized that they are connected to products or services that I sell or used to sell in those prior businesses. And they do occasionally still sell, and I do think that they still have value, but at this point they're pretty old, and most of them are no longer things that I'm as passionate about as I am about One Noteworthy Life. The practical side of me says just leave them out there and occasionally a sale comes through. And as long as I'm delivering value, there's no issue. But I have made what I think is a bold choice for me in that I'm going to stop selling those things. I'm very passionate about One Noteworthy Life, and I don't want things that I'm not as excited about taking up mental space that could be devoted to the thing that I'm really excited about right now. So even though I didn't finish this project, I feel really good about the fact that I have made a decision about that, and I think it's going to be easier to get through those old lists now that I've gotten really clear on my desire to wrap that up. And I think the increase in available focus for One Noteworthy Life is worth foregoing a small sale on occasion. So my second business goal for February was to get my About page done, or work on it at least. And I found this kind of hard because I think it's really hard to see yourself as other people see you. And so what I did was I asked for feedback from some people that I'm close to, and then I also posted a survey that could be completed anonymously for people in my Facebook group or on my email list, or for you if you have a suggestion for me. And I'm really glad I took that chance because people have given me excellent suggestions and they've been really helpful. So if you do have anything you'd like to see or you think I should include on my About page, I would love it if you would share that with me. You can add a comment on this video, or if you want to stay anonymous, you can use the survey, which is also linked in the description. So I didn't finish my About page, but I did get it started and I have a solid chunk of it done. So I do want to try and make some progress on that in March, even if I can't get it done. So the next thing I want to go into is my personal goals. So one of the first goals I set every month is for a daily average for my calories. I had gained some weight a while back, and I'm working on getting back to a healthy body weight. And I wanted to have a goal of negative 250 per day in February. And I didn't quite hit that, but I got really close and I did drop some more weight, which I'm really pleased about. And I'm just generally happy with the way this is working. So I'm going to bump this up to 260 in March. So another area I've been focusing on for quite a long time is my sleep habits. My sleep had gotten just way out of whack for a while. And I've been working on this for quite a while. And one of the long-term practices that I've been doing is that I only use my tablet in bed, before bed, 2 Saturdays and on Saturdays and then 2 other days per month. This is it's gone from something that was really hard to something that's really easy. But I do like to have it written down because I think it's easy to slip on something like this. Now, over time, I've experimented with different things to track and different ways to set goals for improving my sleep. And in February, I tried just tracking my wake-up times and setting really small daily goals. And this was a huge success for me. I really like the simplicity of it, and getting up on time sets my whole day up better, and it helps me get to bed on time that night. And then the next thing is one of the things I did to help my sleep, which is to move my dog's feeding and walk times earlier. And that helps my whole day just generally run on an earlier schedule, and that helps me get to bed on time. So the final comment in this section was really interesting to me. I've been working on my sleep habits for over a year, and I just continue to see improvements. And I went back to January of last year. That's January of 2018. And at that point, my sleep was just really out of whack. I was using my tablet almost every night, often for more than an hour at a time, and that really messes my sleep up. It makes my brain way too active, and I'm thinking while I should be sleeping and that kind of thing. I was also sleeping too many hours, and when I got up, I didn't feel rested. And so going back to that, time more than a year ago, it just really hammered home how important it is to me to stay with your goals until you get what you want, and that some things just do take time. I feel like time has been the magic ingredient in getting me from where I was to where I am. All of these things I'm doing, they're just basic tips you'll find in any, kind of sleep improvement article or website. It's just taken me time to get there. So that was a real light bulb moment. So the next of my personal goals was in the area of Be Ready, and that is my theme for 2019, and I have a video on that that's linked in the description. But in short, what I did was create a bunch of small, measurable things that I could do to get me closer to the feeling of being ready for whatever life brings. The first goal I picked was to get current on my daily decluttering habit, and I use a broad definition of decluttering as opposed to like what most people think of, which would be like going through old clothes or papers. It's more like tidy up, put things away, declutter, and take care of things that would become clutter if I didn't take care of them. At the beginning of the month, I was 26 sessions behind, and I wanted to get to 20 by the end of February. I did not hit this, and in fact, I even got further behind, but what it taught me is that I need to and want to spend more time on my home environment. I really enjoy having a very clean and tidy and kind of minimalist environment, and not having that makes a huge impact on my well-being. In my mind, I've kind of reframed this time from a chore to an act of self-care, and that it's really a privilege to be able to spend time making my environment the way I want it to be. So I'm still going to be working on being more consistent with this in the future, but I feel pretty excited about it. I feel like one of the reasons I haven't been doing it is because I feel like it's kind of frivolous to just be spending time doing this when I have more important things to do. But what this has taught me is that it is really important and it's really valuable and it's something I really want to do. So yeah, I feel good about moving forward with that. So my final personal goal for February was to get started on what my dogs need for their annual. So their registration has to be done, and they need to go to the vet and get whatever shots they need. I've done some work on this. I feel quite confident I'll be able to take care of everything by the end of March when it's due. So my final, well, not quite the final, but the next page is a page I call What Else? And so this is just a free-form section that I use to write down anything unexpected, whether it's good or bad or whatnot, that kind of changed the way my month unfolded. So let's see. First point is I liked starting the month with just a few goals. I really pared down the number of things I was trying to improve on, and I think it really helped me to make progress on them. The second thing I realized was that even though I consider myself pretty decisive in certain ways, and in prior videos I've talked about on the Myers-Briggs personality type indicator that I'm a judger, and judgers like to make decisions. Indecision actually gets in my way sometimes. My February Plan With Me video was very late, and the reason was I had done some January planning videos for the month and the year, and I was kind of going back and forth in my mind if I wanted to put up a February Plan With Me video right away, or if I had to get some other types of videos in there so it wasn't a string of the same thing. And instead of just picking one and doing it, I was indecisive about it, and it made that video really late. And so what I took from that is that I am indecisive sometimes, and it gets in my way sometimes. And when there is a low stake in the matter, I should just pick something and do it. The third comment is that I just love this process that I'm doing every month, and it's helped me so much. And I think to myself, like, what could I have done if I had started this earlier? So I'm really looking forward to the next phase of my life and everything that I'm going to be able to accomplish. So another thought was that I would like to be ahead of my editorial calendar by at least one video. And that's just if something unexpected comes up or something that I didn't plan for, that I will be able to stick to my posting schedule in my editorial calendar. So that's just kind of a thought. I don't know if that'll happen next month or when, but it's a thought for now. I'm also thinking about designating Tuesdays as a task day for me. It seems to unfold that way a lot, and I kind of really enjoy having that day just to crank on a bunch of tiny little things that are bugging me. So we'll see. I might do that. The final thing I want to get to is I want to spend more time reading. I actually have a lot of books that I really want to read, and they're actually paper books. Some of them are that old. And so I want to get them read and kind of moved out of my house. So I'm not sure how I'm going to incorporate more time into my day for that. So it's just a thought for now. So now I want to look at my February annual plan. And when I set up my year, this is what I thought I would be doing in February. So I had an anniversary earlier in the month. That was nice. And I did want to start working on the dogs and their vet care, and I've done that as well. So that's great. And then here is my February calendar. Let me scroll that up a little bit. So as you can see, I don't use this for tasks or appointments. I try and write down something good that happened each day. And I find that I just enjoy having a little bit of creativity, and I really like how this is like tangible proof for me that something good has happened every day. Okay, I think time to set up March. So let's look at my March annual plan again. This is what I thought I'd be doing in March when I set up my annual plan. So I wanted to plan an East Coast trip. I was thinking it would happen toward the end of March, maybe in April, but I wanted to have it all planned and locked in by the end of March. And yeah, that's tabled. That is not happening just because of the whole medical situation. But I do have a hard deadline of the end of the month for my dog's registration. So again, I think I'm totally golden on that. So now I'm going to show you my March goals. And I think what's interesting about March is that I had gone through and done my normal review and goal setting process, and then my husband broke his leg before I had posted my Plan With Me video. And somewhere in that process of when, we were getting him situated and stuff, I was telling him about the goals I had set, and we kind of looked at each other. We're like, wait, what am I thinking? And he said something to the effect of, our goal this month should be that we don't implode. And yes, that's true. I really just need to focus on the very, very important things. And I realized that I'm way, way overly ambitious. So I went through and took a lot of this out, and I scaled it way down to got rid of the stuff I don't need to do, so that I can have a more manageable load for the month of March. So for One Noteworthy Life, I have postponed working on those old email lists. As I mentioned, it's not as high a priority now because I'm no longer near a price tier change, so it's not going to cost me any more money. And although I would like to take care of it, I'm kind of clear on what I need to do, and I can wait on that. I'd like to make some more progress on my About page, even if I don't finish it, just because I've been enjoying that and I like kind of the steady progress. And I do want to make sure I continue to put out videos as close to my posting schedule as I can, because I think when you're going through something like this, like a medical issue or kind of anything like that, it's important to nurture your own self and your own interests as well, because otherwise you risk becoming just mired in, you know, the problems that are happening and things like that, and I don't want to burn myself out. So on to my personal goals. So as I mentioned, I'm going to bump that calorie goal up to 260 a day, and even with all this medical stuff going on, I feel like that should be pretty easy to do. For my sleep, I'm just going to stick with the 2 habits that I have going, which is only use my tablet on Saturdays and 2 other days for the month, and then to track my wake-up times and just try and set small goals every day. So as far as my yearly theme of Be Ready, I am not going to even do anything on that. There's just nothing that has to be done, and it's kind of a longer-term goal. And then the dogs, that's a hard deadline, so I will get that done by the end of the month. And as you can see, the What Else section down here at the bottom has something in it, because that was pretty unexpected and was a pretty big event that happened when he broke his leg. So the last thing I want to show you is my March calendar page, which has already started. I have some items in there already because I'm filming this a little ways into March. And so that's it. So I'm all set up for March, and even though I had to scale this month way back, I do feel like having a plan for the month really helped me because I had something to work from. And because I've been on top of these goals and the things I'm trying to do, it was easy for me to say, well, this doesn't need to be done, but that does. So if you don't have any sort of process like this, I really encourage you to start or at least try something. So if you have any questions or comments on this video, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you, and I would love it if you would subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. And if you like this, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.